Welcome everyone to the Crystal Chronicles, your Final Fantasy Record Keeper podcast. This is episode number 20, recorded on Wednesday, July 13, 2016. My name is Pierre. As usual, I am joined by my co-hosts, Ben and Mark. Hey guys, how we doing?
Doing good.
Doing good as well, Pierre, Ben, Record Keepers.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be recording this as an event hits. That's a new thing for us. So took a little bit more preparation since we didn't have the event to sit with, but hopefully our preparation is correct.
For those listening to the podcast, the intro theme was a polka remix of the Rydia theme. I'll have the link to the YouTube video in the show notes. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know I did.
And
So
we can thank OC Remix for that. Thank you so much, you guys. An awesome resource of remixed video game music for any video game you could possibly want remixed music from. So that's ocremix.org, and we hope you guys are still listening to our podcast.
Come on, that was awesome.
we should get one of them on, talk about what they do.
We'll see.
Well, Ben's great friends with them now, so I'm sure he'll make it
I talked to him once. Don't put it all on me. You're the owner of the site, Pierre.
I'm sure you totally scared the crap out of him. Oh my God, you guys play Record Keeper!
Oh, all right.
Okay, before we get into the serious FFRK stuff, I want to make a quick pause here and talk about something totally unrelevant to Final Fantasy. So those of you who don't really care about all that stuff, you might want to forward for about 5 minutes. Today, I finally took matter into my own hands and, succumbing to peer pressure, I downloaded Pokemon Go. And I can frankly say that even though I have no freaking clue what I'm doing, it's probably the equivalent of math or crack or something like that, because I can tell you I work in security at a bank. It doesn't get any more serious than this, and the only thing we've been talking for about 2 days is Pokemon Go, and it's not released in Canada. It's like no one in our group should have it, but everybody's going nuts for it.
How do you have it if it's not released in Canada?
We all created fake New Zealand or Australian accounts to download it.
Wait, but doesn't it use data from the maps? Like, how are you?
Yeah, how does it work with your map?
Well, actually, the way it works is once
because it's global.
Once I launch it just uses the Google Maps API, so that's what it's using.
Yeah, it just works on Google Maps. Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least you're luckier than China. They don't have the game in any means.
Well, because they would totally crash servers.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I still need to free up some space on my phone before I get it. Maybe get a micro SD card to fit it on. But I've heard nothing but good stuff. I apologize if anyone took my message last episode. I might have said something along the lines of it had a shaky launch, but the only way that I meant that is that the game at first it drained a lot of players' batteries with the use of GPS, location services, and the camera. That's all I said. I had no doubt that the game would explode like this, you guys. And I love to see it doing this.
Just by the way, if you're playing Pokemon Go on your mobile phone and you're not behind Wi-Fi, very obviously, because that's what the game's trying to make you do, you have to download the Google Maps app. And somewhere in there, you've got parameters, and you can download the section of the maps, anywhere near your neighborhood offline, and that will save you a whole lot of data transfer by having those maps on your phone offline. So if you're part of that Pokemon Go phenomenon and you want to save some data, well, that's something you might want to think about.
So what team did you guys join? I know there are kind of warring factions right now.
I haven't joined any team. I played it about half an hour before we started the podcast as I was walking the dog. So obviously I'm not really far.
I played it for about a day just to kind of see what it was about, because I had about 400 people, colleagues of mine, asking me how to capitalize it and what it was, since I'm the local gaming expert, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like I said, I kind of missed the Pokemon craze. That was, 1998, 1997, 1999 here for the anime and the original Nintendo Game Boy game and the card game. So I certainly had people my age who were playing it, but most of us were on other things. Those of us in the gaming world, I was playing Magic the Gathering, and I was playing Final Fantasy, and I was watching other animes. So it wasn't,
well, it's
not... so it doesn't have that nostalgia thing for me. So I just wanted to kind of get a feel for it, and I think it's really cool. But I'm certainly probably not gonna be invested in it. So.
Quite frankly, if I give my phone to my 7-year-old daughter, I am actually genuinely scared of what could happen. I will totally walk everywhere with her, because that phone will take her places that I don't want her to go.
Well, and that's when it was coming out, I had this thought of, well, I could download it on my dummy phone and my 5-year-old could play it, and then I played it, and I'm like, oh yeah, my 5-year-old's going to walk into the middle of traffic one of these days. He's going to go out into the street. He's going to, go over to the crack addict's house. I mean, he's going to die. I'm going to kill my child if I let him play this game.
Well, I'm fairly sure it's been out for 2 weeks now. I'm fairly sure that at least one human being in the world has died because he was playing Pokemon.
Was it in Japan? It was there have been all sorts of crazy stories, but yeah.
Anyway, before we move into the Crystal Pokemon Chronicles, let's head back to our main topic of discussion, which is, last I checked, Final Fantasy Record Keeper.
Oh right, I forgot.
Before we lose any audience we still have left. So, first, the news of the day. Still haven't gotten any real team for that. There was a couple of Final Fantasy Record Keeper news posts released today. Nothing too major. The first one would be, if you have heard about Apple's last iOS, that would be iOS 10 beta. Their recommendation is don't download it. It could screw up your game, and they won't do anything to help you. They don't support beta releases. So, and quite frankly, when iOS 9 came out, it took them like 3-4 months to tell you, oh, it's okay. So, I wouldn't go against it once it's released, but for now, since it's iOS 10 is a beta, just stay away from it if you enjoy playing Record Keeper.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ben.
I was gonna say lots of mobile games just put out this message as a general disclaimer. Don't come crying to our support staff saying you lost all your stuff because you went into an operating system that is incompatible with our game.
Well,
which is just common sense.
For Final Fantasy Record Keeper, it's not the fact they're putting out this notice. It's that I remember very clearly that for iOS 9, it took them forever and a half to put out a statement saying, oh, well, it's supported for iOS 9, and it had been working day one, so, what do you know. Okay, with that out of the way, there were a couple of Soulbreak description changes. If you're about 10 of them, obviously the mechanic behind the ability didn't change, but if you're curious to know what change in the descriptions, I have a list on FFRKcentral.com.
Yeah. The big kind of general note is that it just kind of reworded it to let you know that the debuffs are temporary on like defense and stuff, and also distinguish some attacks as jump attacks. And I think that's pretty much it.
Yep, nothing major. And while we're on the topic, during my daily data mining session, I found that they uploaded 3 new images to the server that let us know that there will be a summer Mithril giveaway campaign coming shortly, and from what I can see, we'll be getting probably every week or something like that, every 2 or 3 days, 5 mithril for up to 3 gifts. So that's a total of 15 free mithrils.
I will take it.
Yeah, I will definitely take it. Just throw it on the pile since I'm not pulling on anything anymore.
Me neither.
Yeah,
not even the half-off nightmare pulls?
These on, anything that's not half off, I don't think I'll be pulling on it anymore.
That's fair.
Well, now isn't there half off guaranteed Super Soul Bray banners in Japan or something ridiculous?
I don't know. I don't read Japanese, so I just randomly select stuff. By the way, no, we'll get to that, but just to make it quick about that, I was playing the Japanese version, and it was asking me. It took a couple tries to figure out, but it was asking me to register an account, and as I was going through the process, I swear to God, one of these questions they were asking on the registry page was for my blood type. And it's a required question. You had to answer it. Again, I've mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I work in IT security for a bank. I've seen a lot of shady registration pages, but one asking for my blood type, that would be actually a first, and I wasn't too impressed.
What were you registering for? I didn't quite get that.
FFRK Japan.
And they want to know your blood. Did you read the
Terms and service?
Yeah, the terms of service.
I haven't translated all of it. I've got the screenshots up in the Japanese FFRK_GP channel and Slack if you want to take a look at it. Needless to say, I was pretty scared when, with what they could do with that information. Hopefully they will protect it correctly. Not that I've actually put the right information in place to begin with, but still, I was surprised that was a required question, honestly.
I think you could spend a lot of time trying to think about how would we use that information for our benefits.
Maybe certain blood types are more prone to spending money on the game. So that
who knows?
There has to be a limit where advanced analytics, can't help you anymore. But I guess that's some part of, secret question because, while some people might know who was your first best friend or which city you were born in, most people won't know your blood type. And obviously if they come out and ask you the question, they'll look kind of weird. But still.
Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that.
Anyway, moving on. It's Wednesday, and there's 2 things you need to know that happens every Wednesday. First, it's the Final Fantasy Record Keeper podcast. Obviously, you're listening to it now, so you already knew about that. And the second one is that the Geisselt Exchange major orbs are rotated, and this week we have Summon, Fire, and Ice. So these major orbs are available for you for 10,000 greens each. Those of you who do your dailies, you're more than welcome to grab them.
I just realized if you just take the first letter of each of the orbs, you have a Song of Ice and Fire. My mind was just blown.
Oh, it all makes sense. It all
Game of Thrones
lines up, dude. Nice. Yep. And remember, guys, those motes are still available till August 3rd, so you have plenty of time. I'm at 12,000 right now. I still need another 8,000 Kashala greens to snag all those motes. And so yeah, don't leave them out because we've got some new characters who have their motes unlocked. We'll talk about them a bit later.
All right. Before we move on to the second coming, the Final Fantasy VII event that we have, there was a little bit of how could we say this, Dutch drama from DeNa with a bug with the Cid's mission. Mark, you want to go on with that, or Ben, one of you guys?
I'll handle the other bug that was pertinent to this event.
Oh yeah,
So this is all you, Mark.
Sounds good. Yeah, so if you have not been playing or living unaware of Ultimate and Ultimate Plus battles, when this event launched and the Ultimate and Ultimate Plus launched, we were supposed to have Cid missions. So you were supposed to be able to complete the Ultimate Plus and the Ultimate battles with a full Final Fantasy VII Synergy team and get the rewards just like a normal Cid mission. Well, figure it out. So I beat the first Ultimate with a Final Fantasy VII team, and then I started to see, as I was posting that on Twitter and thing, I realized that stupid phone. I realized that people were beating it without a synergy team and getting the reward. So
nice.
you could get the first two rewards. I think it's 3 major orbs total. You could get them by just beating the Ultimate and the Ultimate Plus with no battle whatsoever. And so DeNa immediately asked us, really told us that, hey, by the way, you can do this. We're not going to change it. Fine, whatever. Then a couple days passed, and we get another announcement. Well, we've decided that we're gonna reintroduce the Cid missions and give you additional orbs and also a apology mithril.
Nice.
So you can get back the stamina you lost. So what I assume happened. Now, you can go on Reddit, subreddit, and all that kind of stuff, and you can see people complaining, and those people have no say, right? I mean, generally, the people that complain on those kind of things, they're not people that are invested in the game. They're not MVP, platinum, plus, diamond, whatever levels we've never even seen. So what I assume happened is the actual MVP community, the actual people that spend a ridiculous amount of money on this game said, yeah, we'd really like our Cid missions the way they are intended to. And they did it in a way that got DeNa's attention. And they said, oh, okay, yeah, we'll do that. Because, I don't see any other way. Why wouldn't they say, oh, well, this one will just pass? Unless they're just really, proud of their game and said, no, we really intended this. And, if that's the case, well, good on them. But I have some idea there's some pressure from the higher MVPs saying, yeah, let's keep with the idea of Cid missions. We really want that kind of badge of honor. So,
quite frankly, I was impressed the way they originally handled it, because it had been like 24 hours, before we knew it was broken, if not more. And just try and think about them suddenly fixing the mission and it's not doable anymore. People going all up their businesses with folks and Forks and Torch and
that would have been
fair and da 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 da.
That would have been terrible. Yeah, that would have been a huge mistake.
So they did the right thing, and then they did it again. So the way I look at it, everybody wins. Nothing they did was wrong. Well, they had a bug to begin with, but
right.
Everything they did once they knew about it, personally, I think they handled it perfectly. So.
Yeah, I've said this before, but I'm very impressed with their customer support. I'm very impressed with, I understand there's a lot more stuff going on in Japan, so some people feel like, well, Japan, but Japan's also ahead of us in the curve. So, I feel very good about the global support and the and the people behind the game. I think they actually are paying attention and trying to get the pulse of things. And yes, they're reformatting things from Japan to global, but that's to be expected. But the people that are here on the global servers to really help with the support thing, I've been very impressed with, and I'm sure other people have other opinions, but yeah, good on them. I think they handled it very well.
So
yeah, and one other bug this event was with Clim Hazard, which was Cloud's new soul break. When you used it and then tried to do a normal attack, it crashed iOS and Android apparently, or at least that's what the subreddit thread is saying. DeNa recognized maybe we shouldn't put in a move that crashes your game. So they fixed it and gave an apology Mithril.
Hooray!
Yay.
Give us more Mithril. Be real sorry.
All right.
All right. So moving on.
Keep screwing up, DeNa. Keep accepting apologies.
That's the gist of it.
Our forgiveness has no end. Our forgiveness has no limits. Our cup overflow.
Okay, so ultimate battles. I got through the first one. I didn't get through the second one, and especially not in the special Tyro only mode that someone linked in Slack chat that I've tried and got totally face floor really quickly. But let's start with Shinra's building, the Turks, stat battle again. What'd you guys think?
I didn't do it.
What?
But I can sure read about it.
Okay, why don't we let the two people in the podcast that did it? One barely, I want to say, and that's not Mark.
So what was your strategy, Pierre, for the Turks, Elena, Rude, and Reno? How did you approach the Turks?
Multiple times, should I start with? Okay, well, first off, I was trying to do the Cid mission, and then I failed really bad. So then what happened is, once I knew I could actually success without having to use a full synergy team, I was able to get it. But quite frankly, the only reason I got through was because I used Ico's re-raise Soul Break. But I think you have a much better strategy, so why don't I let you talk about that?
Yeah, the Turks, and there are 3 of them, and this time you have to defeat all of them. You cannot just defeat one and call it good. The Turks, again, there are 3 of them, so you need to bring Area of Effect. Dancers are your friends, and if you are going for the Cid mission, you have 2 dancers to choose from. AoE spells and attacks are good, but don't feel like you can't bring your A team in and take one of them at a time. If you want to take one of them at a time, feel free to start with Elena and then move to Reno and finally Rude. And bring your AoE debuffs as well, your multi-break, and that's why you're dancers. I forgot an apology here. We've been we've been reprimanded for some of our statements because sometimes we make generalizations on this show, and sometimes because this show is not scripted, we don't always have the most accurate information on the tip of our tongues or the top of our brains or wherever our brains are pulling from at the very moment. So I made a statement, I think a couple weeks ago about, after a certain point, breaks really have a diminishing return. There's truth to that in that, not the diminishing return part, but there's a point where if your break reaches, I think it's 65% of the boss's stat, you can't do above that. So, you can't stack breaks to be 100%, lower their attack by 100%. You can lower it by 65%. The issue is that I did not mention, in these ultimate battles, almost all of the bosses resist breaks. Because they resist breaks, you would have to stack 4 or 5 breaks to get to that 65 plus. So generally speaking, you're not going to do that. So really don't worry about the stacking, and take as much mitigation as you can or need. I decided to bring for the Cid mission, I decided to bring a mage team, a Final Fantasy VII mage team. So this is not a very tough ultimate battle because I brought a Final Fantasy VII mage team, which there aren't a lot of mages, and was able to beat it. I used Vincent, Reno, Aerith as a summoner, not a healer, and then Yuffie and Kaith Sith as dancers, and then Kaith as my healer. So Kaith Sith had multi-break, Yuffie had magic breakdown, the dance, and I think resistance breakdown, the dance, the 4-star dances. I don't know what sambas, rambas, whatever. I'm not really sure what they're all called. And I did that with great success. Vincent had the Darkness combo, Memento Mori and Dark Zone. And I had, I think, Bahamut and Veil 4 on Aerith. And I had Meteor and Runga on Reno. And I did not use any magic boosts. So I just used like Mighty Guard 8, or I think I used Mighty Guard 8, so to give me haste and shell, and then I brought Protect, I think, maybe on one of those things. Maybe I didn't even bring Protect. So not very difficult, and it was, I think I enjoyed it, being able to do that with the mage team. Of course, if you bring your main team, I posted that, and somebody said, I don't have all those AoE spells. Okay, bring your A team and just destroy them, and it won't be very difficult. So not the most challenging, but always fun to beat up on the Turks. So I think that's about that.
Okay,
All
so
right.
now we can move on to the Ultimate Plus, which I saw lots of screenshots of on Twitter. So that's all I could count for.
Were not able to do that?
No.
Correct, Pierre?
No, I tried with my A team, with my B team, and with Tyro alone. As per the video, I'll try to link that.
I missed the Tyrol alone thing. Yeah, I'll have to look at that.
I'll link it in the show notes. But really, I face floored really quickly, so I don't know. That guy had much better equipment than I did. But why don't you go ahead with what you did? Hello, Mark.
Sorry, I muted
we know
mic.
you're still around.
He muted his mic. It's okay, everybody. He's with us.
So, yes, Sephiroth hits hard with lots of AoE attacks, some which counter physical attacks, with power that grants him self-haste. And he does that in quick succession. He can also counter physical attacks with a power that, that's what I just said, grants him self-haste. You can use Draw Fire and Retaliate to nerf his counters, and that prevents him from casting haste. So if you want to bring a non-Final Fantasy VII team, just a regular team, you can bring somebody with the Draw Fire plus Retaliate combo, which would be like Gilgamesh and Auron. And they can basically ignore his counterattacks plus his self-haste. So that's one strategy. Bring a lot of mitigation, and you're going to need Medicas. I mean, you could probably do it without Medicas. Maybe, I'm not sure. I've seen anybody do it without healing, because he just hits hard. And some of his attacks, I think, ignore defense. Some of his attacks ignore resistance. Maybe it's awful. He's just got a lot of attacks. So Cid missions. I did do this Cid mission style. And I've seen a lot of different Cid missions take down this particular Ultimate Plus, so I think that gives you a Cid parties, Final Fantasy VII parties. So I think that gives you some hope that you can do it. Zack, remember, has access to Power Chain and Full Charge. So that's a very good use of a character, regardless of his soul breaks. Vincent has access to Memento Mori Dark Zone. So again, regardless of his whatever, that's a really good combo. And so even without soul breaks, those two really do a lot of damage. Now, I have no native Medica on Final Fantasy VII besides Yuffie, and I just couldn't figure out a way to utilize Yuffie well in this fight. So I brought Kaith and Aerith as healers, and both of them had healing, and both of them had shared soul breaks. So awful shared soul breaks, both of them. And so I had two shared soul breaks, and I brought haste shout as my record roaming warrior. Now, if you have Zack's sword, which gives you haste, or Lunatic High, which gives you haste, or I think Tifa's Monk Fist gives you Boostiga, any of those are going to help, right? Any of that kind of stuff. You also can put haste on a white mage and just haste your party up one at a time if you want to bring Sentinel Grimoire. I did it without Sentinel Grimoire. It was fine. Multi-break works, power break works, Protecta. That's what I used as my mitigation. I used multi-break, power break, not breakdown, and Protecta. That was my only mitigation in the fight that I brought in my Cid mission. So with multi-break, power break, Protecta, and Hasteca, I was able to beat him without much of a trouble. I had Zack, Vincent, Cloud basically as my damage dealers. And yeah, you got to do it, and you got to do it fast. So the problem is if you don't have a kind of a heavy hitters, you're going to do slow enough damage that when that end time comes, he's going to start hitting you with the meteor, and it's just awful. So you really have to have like the Dark Zone type damage or the full power break, power chain, full break, full whatever, full charge. You kind of need that level of damage output or super soul breaks or burst soul breaks to be able to take him down quick when he gets, down to about a quarter health or even a third health, I think. So I think it's achievable. I think you can do it if you haven't given up.
Oh yeah, I've definitely moved on. I've been well. Here's the thing: for those of you watching on Twitch or on YouTube and keeping track, my stamina is at 134 right now, with only one shard away from being 135. A couple of weeks ago, it was around 117, 121. I've been playing those dungeons like a madman. Quite frankly, one of my issues is that I would have never, I could never find a good timing to play, and for some reason I decided to play as I was walking the dog every night, so I got a lot of those dungeons taken care of. I've actually got all the classic ones done. I'm taking care of the elite ones as we speak. So, that's what I've been working on. So instead of wasting time, because obviously I wouldn't be wasting stamina, but instead of wasting time on one boss, I've decided to just keep getting those dungeons done, and it's proven very efficient so far. So
yeah, that's probably not a bad approach if you have not completed all of the normal game content. So yeah, and a lot of people, we have a lot of people who are connected to our community who haven't. So right, take that time.
Because I figure once they're all done, I'll be able to concentrate on grinding those dailies without thinking that I'm losing content or anything. So I was only scared
I tell people, go ahead, yeah.
I was only scared that before I could complete like the one or two left, they would release another patch of dungeons, but obviously I got it done, so I was pretty happy.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're doing 2 dungeon updates a month now, so it's just 1 a month, I think.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm just slow.
So should be able to tackle it no problem. And think of all that mithril and all those major orbs and all that stamina.
Hey, I'm at 88 mithril now. I haven't really pulled on anything. I got Yeah, I know. I got 1 or 2 maybe 4 or 5 refills when I was playing, but
I'm so jealous of all you people that haven't completed the main content and have all that mithril that you didn't spend on the early banners. That were like genie armor and regular soul break equipment.
Dude, those are the best. You had to be on top of the meta at all times. If you weren't using Braver, if you were not using Cloud's Braver, you were behind the game, no doubt.
I think I have a 7-star genie armor. So.
Do you mean Genji armor, not genie armor?
Yes.
Genie armor.
I'm a Genji.
Isn't it genie? That's what Rosa wears. She wears genie armor. I'm sorry, getting confused.
Good one. Okay. So,
all right. So
we go over Banner 2.
It's all yours, Ben.
Sure, I put 5 minutes to roll into this event, and I got a Super Soul Break. I don't recommend you do the same, because let's look at what we have to offer here. We have Kate Sith's Super Soul Break weapon, Moogle Dance, which is a, what is it, like full break dance? What is it? Multi-break? Yeah, it's a multi-break, and then regen on all allies.
Yeah, it's super multi-break, though. I think it is I think it's a minus 50%. It's pretty good. Oh.
So, I guess it's pretty good. Why is the caption here to not... I guess not for this one item. Crystal Cross is old. Just attacks to all enemies and then physical blink. Master Fist is pretty bad, honestly. It's a self-buff to Tifa. But, I guess it's a large amount. But Tifa just doesn't have that many good skills to use. And it's my third Super Soul Break fist weapon, so they're getting a bit old at this point. I would need new equipment type. We have Cloud's guys.
You have Snows, you have
I have
Tifa's,
Snows, Power Circle, I have Tifa's,
and Zell.
No, not Zell's. I have Sabin's Tiger Fang.
Oh, okay, yeah, Tiger Fang.
Which to be
full monk team.
Monk. Oh, big time! And I can use Jacked.
Monk
Are you kidding me? Nice. I'll be so ready for the Monk Nightmare Dungeon. You guys have no idea.
You will be, and none of us will be at all.
Suck it. And
Are they doing a ninja nightmare dungeon? Because I just sharded all of my ninja abilities.
Oh no. I can only imagine what crappy 6-star ability it would be.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that on Slack, I think, this week on one of the channels about abilities, and somebody, because we were talking about bringing 3-star spells into some of the nightmares or summonings, and somebody was saying, well, why do you have all those abilities? Like, well, I haven't broken any of my abilities. So apparently I upped my ability inventory to 200 early in the game, and I've never ever paid attention to abilities because I still have space. So yeah. I don't know about the Ninja Abyss dungeon.
Yeah, we'll look into that. So
support is first.
Yeah.
So next.
Oh, big time. But next is Cloud's Guise, which gives Gloom Hazard, which no longer breaks the game upon use. So it's 7 physical wind attacks to one target and infuse the user with wind. So it's pretty this is like Cloud's first utility soul break. All the other ones was just deal damage to all enemies, deal damage and paralyze. Now this is something that you can kind of weave into other strategies, which I really like. But it's armor, but it's plus 20 attack armor, so that's nice. Old. Yeah, basically the two things that I think are worth it on this banner are green megaphone and then Clem Hazard, which even as a normal soul break, just if you're using Cloud, it'd be nice to have around. But yeah, I definitely agree to save your mithril on this one. It's just we have so much better stuff coming. Like our next banner that we'll be reviewing later.
But literally the next banner.
Yeah.
So much better.
So unless you're really looking for that multi-break or are a Cloud purist doing those Cloud solo challenges.
Yeah, right.
Go for it then. But other than that, see ya.
So we give it a score of what, -1 on 5?
That's a bit harsh. Green megaphone is pretty cool. So I'd say if you'd already have gotten a certain burst soul break and during the burst soul fest, this banner would be a 2 out of 5. But if you have not gotten it, then it's a 1 out of 5.
Okay, so the 3 of you who are playing Kate's set, it's a good banner for you guys. The rest of you just carry on.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, that tiny dancer has saved me more than once. That's all I got to say.
All right. Moving on.
I thought Ben was going to go into a rendition of Tiny Dancer.
Was about to, but I stopped myself.
Oh, missed the opportunity.
Okay, if you guys want me to do musical performances, I'm going to have to charge extra. So
okay.
Wait, what? Are we getting paid for this?
We don't have a budget for that.
Yeah, no.
If you'd like to hear Ben donate to our Patreon campaign.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah, if you donate more than $5 per month, Ben will sing an extra song during the podcast.
Record an album for you. So let's just
if you donate more than $10 per month, Ben will not sing a song.
Oh, nice. All right, new event, guys. This is one that a lot of you have been waiting for.
Yeah, it's another thing that I was peer pressure into hyping for, the Rydia event that everybody on Slack has been going totally nuts for, and for some reason so have I. And it's on us now. It's available. It's open.
Hey.
Okay, let's see. This event brings us...
I am playing it as we speak.
So was I, until my stamina said, hey, guy, concentrate on your podcast and leave your game alone.
Nice.
So, this event brings us
yep.
two things. First, it brings us Rydia's, what's it called again? The wardrobe records that turns her into an adult and decently looking one might have compared to the child's sprite. That's just terrible. And along that, it also brings Yang as a playable character. Let me see real quick. Yang has he can equip 6-star combat abilities, 3-star celerity abilities, and 5-star monk abilities. He can equip dagger, fist, weapon, hat, light armor, robe, bracer, and accessories. Very obviously, his default soul break is the kick ability. So deal physical damage to all target, pretty much like in the game. Other than that, this event will give you the memory crystal loads 1 and 2 for Kain, Rosa, Edge, Yang, Edward, plus obviously your usual Soul of a Hero and MC1 and MC2 loads. The record spheres unlock on this event are for Kain and Rydia. So.
Yep. And I'll go into those right now.
Well, why don't you?
Oh, whoa. Okay, maybe I will.
Yeah, why don't you? I'm listening.
Okay, here we go.
Tell me, if I was using Kain, what do I gain today?
So, on Kain's Tier 2 spheres, which is really what anyone cares about, you can get on the Dark Knight sphere, plus 3% spear damage. God, this is... Well, let me just pause for a second and think about what I'm going to say. Okay. On the Dragoon sphere, you can get plus 6% Dragoon ability damage. And on the Gladiator sphere, you can get 4-star celerity abilities. So still no power chain with Kain. That would be pretty... Ah! I was about to rhyme again! Somebody help!
For the record, I have no idea what's going on.
I was about to say that would be pretty insane.
You guys are both breaking up for me.
Yeah?
Can you hear each other?
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, I don't. You both are breaking up.
Yeah? Yeah? And it's not picking up. Wow, just leave us hanging. We could finish this podcast without him. Whoa. What? Oh yeah. We'll just keep going. All right. All right, folks. Moving on to Rydia's sphere, you can get a total of plus 9% black magic damage by going down the black mage and magus spheres, respectively. Or I guess collectively, you can get a total of plus 9% summoning damage with the summoner sphere, and then you could get also minor silence resistance. So that's always handy to have on your black mages. In other words, lots of bosses. Once you enter the bonus battles that can silence your party, so it's really nice to not have to worry about that as much. All right, so that covers the spheres. And I guess now is a good time to cover the new abilities featured in this event. 2 new Dragoon abilities, which are actually pretty good. You know, we've seen some losers with that ninja ability. I forget what it's called already, but now we've got some pretty cool stuff coming on. We've got the Blood of the Dragon, which is a 4-star ability. It has 2.2 damage, ranged attack, jump attack, and gives you no airtime on your next Dragoon ability. And to kind of explain this, if Mark was here, he would explain it probably a lot better. But the way that he explained it before the podcast is that Dragoon abilities have a cast time in which like the meter fills up, then you use the ability, then you have an air time. So it's not like Power Chain in that it reduces your cast time to 0, but it reduces your air time to 0 instead.
I was silenced, so I don't know for how long I've been silenced. If this the last 10 minutes didn't make sense for any of you, I apologize. So as Ben was saying, he was right. Basically, once the ability is fully charged, you jump up and you attack right away. So there's no
jump time.
Yep.
Which personally, I don't know, because I kind of like with Dragoons, you're able to jump up to avoid attacks, to kind of maybe cheese some bosses. But I guess this is more like quick DPS you're able to get out of your Dragoons now. And especially with this new 5-star Dragoon ability, Dragon Fire Dive, which has a really good 4.7 damage multiplier over 2 jump attacks with a really long charge time, quote-unquote, kind of like full charge, but it's air time instead. So definitely this is an ability you want to combo with Blood of the Dragon. So much like Power Chain Full Charge, you're dealing lots of damage over a short period of time by reducing the quote-unquote cast time of your attacks. Now, if only we could get kind of a Black Mage ability that on its own reduces your cast time instead of having to get character-specific soul breaks. But we can only hope one day we can get that.
Yeah, it hasn't been a really good time for mages lately. Quite frankly, nothing really cool came along.
Yeah, but hopefully this will definitely make Dragoons a bit more viable in a team. I mean, on their own, they're decent physical attackers with probably access to 6-star combat, but now they have kind of some unique tricks up their sleeves that they can pull off. And especially comboing with their unique soul breaks. Like I know with Fang, if you could get a Pulsar Blast, which raises her attack, this could be an even more devastating strategy to use, which I'm looking forward to, since both these abilities are given out for free upon completion of the bonus battles for this event.
All right, just one sec. Still trying to get Mark back into the conversation. He's having little issues with his Skype client. Let's see if this brings him in back. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes, I don't know what my Skype is doing. For those who are listening, we use Skype. Apparently, my Skype decided it needed to download an update without asking or talking, and shut down and is doing active stuff. So, if I drop, I apologize, but.
No worries. Yeah. We just finished explaining the new abilities for this event.
Yeah, they're cool. I like them.
They're really good. Yeah.
Yeah, Blood of the Dragon and Dragonfire. I think they're cool.
Yep.
Not sure how much we'll see them used, but the nice thing is if you have a 5-star Dragoon, you can use them as opposed to the Power Chain Full Charge combo, which only a few characters can use. Any Dragoon can use. Any 5-star Dragoon can use this ability. So.
Yep. So
very cool.
Let's move on to the currently released bonus battles for this event. And if you were able to get to these battles an hour within the event's release, we applaud you, but we sadly are not as skilled as you and are not there yet.
You have too much Mithril in your hand.
To dump it into stamina refills, you bet. And also,
yeah, I finished the first few dungeons, the normal dungeon. So I have Rydia. I have Rydia's wardrobe record at the moment.
Yep,
that's what I'm trying to get onto, I think. So that's where I am.
So
I'm going to change her right now.
All right, let me bring back your screen now that you're back with us. There we go.
Yeah.
All right, so which one of you guys want to cover the bonus battles?
I'll get us started.
Go ahead.
We got some great notes from from the mysterious figure that writes has our outlines just magically come into existence. So confronting fate, which is the plus battle, you have 3 Kalkas and 3 Brainas, which obviously will combine. So you want to kill them with really powerful AoE attacks. I'm sure if you bring along Soulbreak or Record Materias that allow your party to attack all at once, that'll be helpful, as well as AoE Soulbreaks. But they're susceptible to tons of ailments: poison, silence, paralyzed, slow, blind, and berserk. But and they only have about 30,000 HP each, so shouldn't be that tough of a fight if you've accumulated a lot of AoE Soulbreaks at this point. And then the next battle, as the plus battles are always 2 battles, you have Golbez and Shadow Dragon. Not as tough as their Battle on the Big Bridge counterparts. But they're both weak to Holy and Slow, and Golbez has shifting weaknesses, so definitely use AoE. Or are they available? No, they're not available to hit. No, because you got to take down Shadow Dragon first before you can reach Golbez, right?
I don't think so. I'm not 100%. I think it's like the Battle on the Big Bridge event. You can attack both of them.
Yeah, in the classic one, I killed Golbez before I got the other one down. So I think it's both of them are open to it, but you still gotta beat both of them.
I must be thinking of some other battle. Anyway, so pretty simple. Just use really powerful holy attacks like Saint's Cross and Alexander. Then we move on to Mad Scientist ++, which you face off against Ludeborg, whatever. Uses mixed magic and physical attacks, so bring out the Shelga or Protectka. Shouldn't really need a wall at this point with just a ++ though, but maybe if you're lacking in Final Fantasy IV armor. He uses AoE. Magic attacks, but you can all his physical attacks can be kind of not bypassed but countered with Draw Fire, Retaliate, so definitely bring a character who can use Samurai and Knight abilities, and he's weak to lightning. Alright, somebody to take over for the old school remix of a fight that we've done in Final Fantasy X a lot.
Sandy, Cindy, and Mindy. So we fight the sisters again. You need to dispel Cindy's Reflect and defeat her first for the mastery conditions. So do that. And be careful with your AoE attacks if you want to kill her first and get rid of the Deflect first. Cindy is weak to Berserk, and all of the sisters are weak to Poison, Blind, and Sap. So if you want to bring your poisoning abilities or your sapping abilities, this might be a time to do that. You'll probably take a hit from a single target Delta attack before your mitigation is up, so be ready to heal. Once you take down Cindy, you can Carbuncle to negate Mindy's attacks, which leaves the hard-hitting Sandy. Be careful, though, as Sandy can slow, Berserk, and confuse your party members. Good times, for sure. But yeah, it shouldn't be too bad, and make sure that you're paying attention to dispel Cindy first and kill her first, and then take care of the other 2 sisters. And if you want to shoot up Carbuncle, and then you can take down Sandy, and then take down Mindy, should be pretty easy. But we haven't played it yet, so we don't know.
I don't remember. Does she cast Reflect again once you've dispelled it?
I think after a long time.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, no big deal.
Or I don't recall in the normal game.
Okay. Which brings us to
to the hype.
A conversation about something. No, seriously. Banner 1, which Mark has been looking for a long time before we do draws and all of that. Ben, would you please walk us through what we could win tonight at the Price is Right FFRK edition?
Yeah. So featured item for this banner is no, don't buy gems. No, No, I'm clean. Always clean. First on the banner is Cecil's Excalibur, which was featured on the first banner of the Burst Soul Break event, and it was a very coveted item, and one that has been met with very positive results. You can go back and hear our full review of it then on our special edition. But just know now it is a very powerful Burst Soul Break that boosts holy damage and by a lot. So definitely score this for not just bosses weak to holy, but any bosses that don't absorb holy. There you go. Next we have Kane's Wyvern Lance, which gives you the big wombo combo with the new Dragoon abilities. It deals 4 jump attacks to one target and removes delay from the user's jump attacks for 3 turns. So it's not just one no airtime effect. It lasts for 3 turns, so that's really nice. And because it is a jump attack soul break, you can use Blood of the Dragoon first to reduce the... Wait, no. That's wrong. It doesn't have airtime. It's instant, right?
Yeah, it's instant cast.
Yeah. There's no airtime on the soul break itself. So, don't let me deceive you. You use this one first, and then go into Dragonfire Dive, and then... Yes. So that's the big... It's like MMO combos, you know? You gotta get your passives up.
Right. You Life Siphon, Rising Drive, Dragonfire Dive, Dragonfire Dive, Dragonfire Dive.
Win.
That's what you do. So, yeah, win. Yeah.
And next we have the Artemis Bow for Rosa, which is... It's the same as Selfie's Dream Stage, correct? Restore a large amount of HP to all allies and enable each to avoid 1 magic attack.
It is the same as Selfie's Dream Stage, but
it's a bow.
Rosa is support 4.
Oh.
Which means Rosa can Wrath the heck out of this.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
So you basically have your first Life Siphon Medica.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So no difference in the soul break itself, but it's the way it's the character. So that's nice. And also, it's a bow. The attack's kind of bad, but it's still a bow's a bow. Can shoot.
Yeah, but the mind is crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, the mind's really good. And it gives 10 mind on mastery, so that's nice. We have returned. Poor Dark Knight Cecil, man. He got the buff with the ability to use darkness abilities, but still isn't packing much heat in terms of the weaponry. His Shadow Blade, that's old, but
yeah, it's a nice boost for the Cid missions.
Yeah. Okay. Now,
especially paired with the next time.
Now we can move on to the weapon that is supposedly gonna make mage teams a lot better, right, Mark?
Shout for mages.
It's gonna make them 10% better, I guess. Yeah, the Dream Harp is 30% magic buff as opposed to Idia's Crown and Kefka's Cloak, which are 20% magic buff. So it is better by 10%.
So good Haystaga. And
it's on everybody's favorite Spoony Bard.
Oh yeah, and a small chance to sleep is nothing to like.
I'd like to make a correction here. If there was a second Spoony Bard, he would be my favorite. So Edward is favorite only per default.
Wow, that's rough.
Oh man, the Edward hate. Send all of your email to...
Guys, check it out. It's my best weapon at the end. The Katetsu for Edge. I have the 7-star variant from Banner 2.
Nice.
Always a grim reminder to budget yourself, folks. So, nice.
How's
yeah,
this Rasmatas going?
Oh, it's awesome.
Did you shard it by accident yet?
No, I have it locked. So, yeah, this is your chance to grab Excalibur again if you missed it. Very nice item, and lots of other awesome soul breaks amidst this banner too. And this is a hot one, so I'm gonna.
This banner's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and,
Mark, what are you doing? You doing 1, 3,
Oh,
or
hi.
11?
Oh yeah. No, I'm doing 100 gem, and then I'm going to do some 50 pulls
Wow, I gotta see
or
this.
some 11 pulls. So can you see me on the screen? Am I live here?
I can, and I'll do the last 11 pull with you. So when you're at your last one, let me
Wait,
know.
are you doing the 100 gem pull?
I'm going to do
Okay.
the 100 first. So here's my 100.
Okay, I'm gonna do a 5 mithril pull. Come on, baby. Oh, okay, I got a 3-star. Never mind. We're done. We're not spending any more.
Oh, yes. I got a 2-star or a 4-star, a 2-star. Oh, no.
Dude, nice.
That'd be hilarious.
I wonder if you could
2-star?
send
What?
DeNa a complaint that you got
What?
a 2-star on a relic.
I meant I got a Final Fantasy II sword, a 4-star sword.
I have
Wow.
so many of these.
Well, at least you don't.
All right, so on to the big stuff here.
All right, let's
First
see it.
11 pull.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd like pretty much anything on this banner. That's why I'm pulling on this banner. I tell people, budget yourself, think ahead. But yeah, if you're going to pull on a banner that you could use, I don't know, any of the 5 stars, 2 5-stars.
All right, now Pierre's is going up.
Nice.
Whole bunch of
Mars.
crap.
Pierre, you're way more patient. You don't skip the animation at all. You got a 4-star. See ya. See ya. I want to be ya.
Sir, my first one.
Okay.
And that's Dark Cecil's sword, right?
Did
Cool.
you just
Yep.
get one?
Yep. So that's the Shadow Blade, and then another set of Dark Gloves, and that will probably help in my Cid mission now that I have a booster for my party. So number 2, I'm doing 3, potentially.
Okay.
So number 2. And then I will have 50 here. Mithril that I can shoot out. Oh, and I got nothing. No 5 stars.
Oh, you've got a Pierre pull.
Nice.
No 5 stars.
And I just won.
So sad. Okay, so this is my final one tonight.
Oh, wait. I'm going to do it at the same time you're doing yours.
All right.
So you say go, and I'll hit it.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, and I'll watch it on the Twitch T. So my phone is down. I'm watching on Twitch as we both go.
I got another 2.
2
2
5
5
stars?
stars.
All right, let's see if you got it. Wait, didn't you already get Paladin Force?
Okay, I'm gonna
yeah.
have 1 5-star.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I have 2 Excaliburs. What I really want is the bow or the lance. Whatever. Like I said, I would take anything on this banner. This is a great banner. Like I said, I'm not
you
complaining about
gotta
another
be
Dragon
kidding
Glove.
me.
I'm not. Uh-oh, what did you get?
Are you gonna what? What is it?
You're killing me, Pierre. What is it? Oh, and more gloves. I love gloves.
Pierre, what is it?
Oh, there we go.
Speak to us,
Harp.
man. You got the harp?
I got Edward's harp.
That's okay.
So I walk
Okay.
away with two dark gloves. So I have a total of 3 dark gloves.
All right.
And I have Edward's harp. So haste. I have a Cid Mission haste and a Cid Mission boost.
I got the freaking shit shared dragon armlet from Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh, an off-banner pull. That's
You
nice.
got an off-banner buy.
Congrats, dude.
What's wrong
Oh.
with me? No wonder I haven't
Well,
been pulling.
I'm 3 mithril away from another 50 pulls, so I'll probably do that later. But
Yeah?
I'm not complaining.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
it's
have
cool
to
that you
figure out
got Edwards.
if I'm gonna
Try and
keep
push the
those-
meta.
if I'm gonna push them. Well, I do like mages a lot. I like mage teams a lot. But yeah, I'll have to see what I do in terms of the 5-star bracers, if I'm going to combine them or if I'm going to use them individually. I think I'll probably use them individually for the time being. But all right, that's it for me. The excitement, the adrenaline. no Paladin Force, which I already have. Ooh. But I really like Rosa's harp. I really like Rosa. One of my favorite characters.
You mean Edward's harp?
Or Rosa's bow.
Yeah. Oh.
But I like I said, I am happy with the 4 items that I got, and I'll probably do another pull once I get 50 minutes.
I'm doing one last 3-item pull, and obviously it's all crap. So why am I pulling again?
What are you doing?
Pierre, why are you pulling?
What are you
I had 80-something mithril before this.
The blunder of the century.
All right, one last, then I'm out of mithril, out of anything, and it's all 3 stars.
You should have
stopped pulling.
I shouldn't have done anything at all. So there you go.
You should have saved at least 25 for the nightmare, so the support nightmare, for the dream of getting the platinum sword and the Sentinel's Grimoire on the same pull.
The same pull, yeah.
I'm living the dream, dude. I'm going for
living the dream.
Why am I doing this to myself every single time?
Let's take your mind off that and talk about something else.
Let's talk about a topic.
Nice.
Cue roundtable discussion music. Oh,
okay,
wait, we don't have
roundtable. I'm sorry, I need to read this and get my mind off what just happened here. 80 mithril gone. Okay.
I posed a question on Slack chat earlier this week. And the question is, what are your favorite battles, dungeons, or bosses from the entire lifespan of FFRK?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I saw the question and thought about it.
Yeah, you saw the question.
Yeah.
So on Slack chat, people mentioned the FFX or FF10 Cid missions. That would be the solo jet mission, or the old-timer Braska Orange jet mission, or the BFA mission. And I agree, those missions were awesome. The solo jet mission against the Cactar was hilarious. I think some people mentioned some of the classic Final Fantasy IV battles, notably the Archfiend battles. Some people talked about the Nightmare battles being quite fun. You know, the first Nightmare battle, I think the White Mage Nightmare battle, particularly fun. I would say for me personally, although the Nightmare battles I think are really well done mechanically. I really like how the Nightmare battles have been crafted by the game, mechanically, technically. I really enjoyed the Final Fantasy X Cid missions, but I really like the Advent Children, the first Advent Children event, and then the Advent Children missions here in the Second Coming with Sephiroth.
Yeah, it was cool to
cool. Maybe just because that wasn't a game, that was a movie, and so you didn't really get to play those battles, and so that was a way. This was a way you could kind of relive the movie in a game version. So Bahamut Sin, I love that battle, fighting Yazoo Laws and Kadaj. That was cool. Reunion Sephiroth. I love the dialogue in the Reunion Sephiroth battle we had here on the Second Coming between him and Cloud.
That's a good one.
That was awesome. They're insulting each other and kind of doing the dialogue from the movie. The Bahamut Sin music is amazing. It's a great soundtrack. The Sephiroth battle music is great. So I think that's probably of the battles we had. Those have been my favorite. So what do you guys think? What do you like? What do you
as a player since launch, that's a tough one, man. Because when you saying what's your favorite battle? You could say mechanically, thematically. I don't know. Mm-hmm. For me, a moment that always sticks in my mind is fighting off against Genova, in the core, dungeon, trying to get soldier counter. Because that's one of the first hurdles, big hurdles you overcome as an early player, and it just feels so satisfying to beat. And I kind of wish they had. I kind of wish they had the unlock requirements for record materials be more like that, clear a boss with this character. That would be a lot cooler than just randomly getting it in a dungeon. And that sticks out to me because I personally have never played Final Fantasy VII. I've played a lot of the other ones in the series. This is 7. I've just taken in through so many different forms of media, just watching walkthroughs and stuff, that I've never really felt the urge to play it. But to fight that battle just felt so cool. And so that's one of my favorites. Like another one that sticks out was the Black Mage Nightmare Dungeon, because I had so much trouble with it, and then like I read up on strategies. I'm like, oh, you use Ultros on the orb, and then it like totally like, or in Magitech Missile to totally cheese out the fight, and that was awesome in my mind. But like one of my favorite ones is from Final Fantasy. No. Yeah, I I stopped myself before I said a number. Like the number was wrong. The Final Fantasy's 13 Barthandelus fight, the robot Pope against with all the faces. That was cool because, dude, that's what he is. And like,
I know, I understand.
Yeah, and just because like you got the awesome like choir soundtrack and like the full team of synergy with the banter before, that's like, to me, that's Final Fantasy Record Keeper, just like remixing like games into like all the same like gameplay style, but then like doing new stuff with it, and that's why I love the game so much. Single tear rolls down my eye. All right, Pierre, you're up. You had time to think about it.
Personally, what I like is the fact that I can relive some of the dungeons in the early games, Final Fantasy IV, Final Fantasy VI, these kinds of things. I'm a huge sucker for these events just because, you know, it's the music that gets me every time, the battle music, the boss music, the event music. So really anything that touches those games I've been playing so much and so often, these are the things that really gets me every single time.
Cool.
And then I draw and I get really, really mad.
Yeah, there's that part of the game.
Now, do you have, in some of the realms, in some of the events, we're coming towards the end of the game?
Yeah.
So, my iPhone just stopped. That's okay. There's not much else. We're coming towards the end of the games, actual games, realm by realm. So is there a battle maybe you're looking forward to being released?
Yes. I'm looking forward to Zeromus on Final Fantasy IV.
Oh, okay.
I remember playing Final Fantasy IV Advance, like in a car ride, and I had the headphones jacked in, dude, and that the song came on, and it got me so pumped. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
Especially because, and I'm totally gonna like remake the whole party, to be all full synergy, and like, because that's cool. Because Final Fantasy IV, you have 5 party members, just like in Record Keeper. So that's really that'll be fun to recreate. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.
Cool.
Personally, I'm looking for hopefully as close to they'll bring the Final Fantasy VI, the battle against Kefka.
I think everybody's looking forward to the would that be 3-tiered?
Yeah, just the dancing mad music, just having that running all along. That's just too great to skip on.
You know what I'd like to see, and I'm not sure if it would be one after another or if it'd be different dungeons, but we're at the point in Final Fantasy X after you fight the BFA, I believe, before you fight Yu Yevon. Spoilers. There's a part of the game where Yuna has to summon all of her Aeons, and then you have to kill them. Do you remember that? If you played Final Fantasy X? Yeah. I would love that battle to be recreated.
Such an endurance, dude.
Yeah. So all of where you have to fight all of and even throw in the special ones like, Anima and the sisters, the ones you had to unlock. Ultimately, but throw in all of them, and you just one after another after another. Now, I play Final Fantasy in a way where by the end of the game, I've gone back and I've done everything before I fight the final boss. So Auron was one-shotting every single Aeon by that point in the game. So, but I just love that idea. Here's you've been fighting with these summon creatures the entire time. Now you have to fight against them, and that was really cool in the game. So I'd like to see that. And thus concludes our roundtable discussion.
But wait.
Oh.
There's more, right?
There's mail.
Yeah, there's mail.
Mailbag. Cue mailbag music.
It makes me want to wag my tail. Mail.
That is immediately what I thought about.
Dude, come on.
Except I am older than you and probably didn't watch Blue's Clues as a child. So
Yeah, so it's acceptable for me to think of it.
it is, yeah.
Get owned. All right. Let's somebody read the mail.
Pierre, you want to read this letter from Mithron, our good friend?
Obviously I will. I'm more than happy to. So, how healthy our boosters are for the game? Do they have a negative impact on the meta and lower viable diversity? What are the possible solutions to promote mixed teams? And how does this affect Cid missions? Does the existence of such AV boosters create more stress on what all is available for Cid missions?
Yeah, well, I think what Mithran's trying to bring up here is, with the advent of Shout, we've pretty much eliminated the idea of having a mixed team. You know, your traditional Final Fantasy, DPS, tank, mage, support, white mage, healer. And so that becomes harder when you want to maximize your boost, whether it's magic or, of course, physical, in Shout's case. So has that really broken the game? Is the game kind of, well, you really can't use a lot of your characters? I think that's really his question. How do we feel about that?
Quite frankly, personally, if you're looking at has the game taken out any characters, for someone who just completed all the classic quests, I have a whole bunch of level 80 characters, but at the same time, I have a whole bunch of not level 80 characters. If I look at, I have a whole screen of characters that are below level like 30, and I don't see any reason to use them. Like if I were to use them in elite dungeons, they would get trashed really quickly. So that kind of bugs me more than, wasting a shout on a party that has 3 physical attackers, 1 healer, and 1 mage. But again, that might be just me.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I feel like if you truly work at it, you can get strategies I have seen people do hardcore debuff strategies. Like you were talking about diminishing returns, but by having multi-break and breakdowns, just relentless on enemies, you're able to deal pretty decent damage as if you were using boost guys on your team.
Sure. Well, and even, I've played in mixed teams here a couple times, and I think with the advent of Cid missions, I think Cid missions really, you can't bring all of the standard things for a Cid mission, so you kind of have to bring what you need to bring. So you often are in a place where you really need to bring actually, you need to bring a mix of characters. So, like with the Final Fantasy VII Cid mission, I brought Vincent and Shout. Vincent wasn't hurt because I brought Shout. He got the haste, right?
Of course. Haste is still valuable on any team.
He did not need the boost. He was doing max damage without any help. So
yeah, I think as long as you bring a team that as long as characters are individually good, a good roaming warrior break or warrior slow break will benefit you no matter what.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and I think as if you're really serious about the Cid missions, you're going to start using what you have. So, now let's look at Final Fantasy IV. So now I've made a few pulls on this banner. Yep. I have Paladin Cecil's sword. Well, guess what? I'm going to be using Paladin Cecil. Well, now I have Dark Knight Cecil's boost, so I can use that, and I can boost my party. I have Edward's harp. Well, that gives me haste. So it's about kind of bringing those things. So I have a haste aga, I have a boost ga.
Yeah, it's kind of like resource management, but your resources are your abilities in the sense of what do you need to formulate a team? You need to like manage that on all fronts in order to create a cohesive party.
Yeah.
And
so I definitely think Shout has had its heyday. Shout has definitely
there's no doubt that it's had a huge
taken the stage.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that mixed teams or mage teams are ineffective. In fact, you might be hard pressed to come up with a full physical DPS team for every realm, every Cid realm. And very truthfully, some of the Cid missions, kind of call for some mage power too. So, you want to take advantage of that. Now, when we get, the cool thing is we're going to get Celeste's BSB, which is a magic and attack boost. So her BSB initially, I believe, gives all attack and all magic boosted 30%. So, there's a great character there for you, Mithron, to look forward to, and her multi-party boost there. So, yeah, I think there's options, and I think you can still play around with it and have fun. I'm using a mixed party now, and you're always using a mixed party generally, right? I mean,
yeah, unless
you can run
with all the
5 physical characters.
Yeah, with all the bursts, with the 4 burst soul rigs I've gotten, I've been like having 4 physical characters and 1 healer. But even then, it's still to some degree of mixed,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, the general setup is 3 physical characters or 3 magic characters, support and healing. But right, I mean, you can certainly go all mages, you can go all physical, but you see a lot less of that. At least I see a lot less of that looking on what other people are doing. So, to some extent, all of your teams are mixed. So, but, can you come up with the physical character, the tank character, the support character, the black mage, and the white mage? Why not do it with Final Fantasy IV? See if you can do it with the Cid missions. You might be surprised at how interesting it turns out to be. So there you go.
All right, I think that sums it up pretty well. So, we got another mail from Australian Derek that asks us if we want to give a quick look at impression of the multiplayer function of the FFRK Japanese version, and what should we be looking forward to once it hits global.
And I will leave this talk entirely to you guys, since I am a true-blooded American who only plays the American version of this.
Well, yeah, I've not played the Japanese version either. I've seen some multiplayer, but Pierre is the expert.
I take it that is my time to shine. Quite frankly, it's actually pretty cool. I played maybe, I don't know, 3-4 battles in it. The way it works is that you've got a host, so basically the party leader, if you want, that starts the game. Then you've got up to 4 players that brings in 2 characters each with their own abilities, and everything goes through the host. So if one of the player drops the battle, the host gets to control those 2 characters. And each of the 4 player gets loot when the battle is over. Honestly, it was super awesome to play. It brings in a whole different feeling into the game. Once you might be bored a little bit about everything you've been playing, it really changes the feeling you get out of it. I'm not too sure how to put it, but hopefully, I know right now it's still in beta in Japan. Hopefully it'll be out in global within the next, I don't know, 6-8 months. But you can rest assured that as soon as we know it's coming, we'll have a whole lot more discussions about it, and I'll try to have functionality related to that on FFRK Central as well to ease up maybe getting teams together and all of that. So
yeah, we're definitely gonna have to have if multiplayer ever comes, and we are still doing this by the time the multiplayer comes up.
Well, it's episode 20, and we had one time 2 episodes a week. So, in 6-7 episodes, we'll be at half a year.
Whoa.
I know.
Scary to think about.
These
Pretty
podcasts, they grew up so quickly.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So,
And what do we have? Yeah, I think that's a wrap for us for this week. We did it in half the time we usually do these shows.
Yeah, still relatively slow. If you notice, DeNa is kind of stretching out or extending the time for events now to make sure that we don't catch up to the.
Well, that can't be true because did you restart the call? Haven't we been doing this for about an hour and a half?
Oh, I thought you meant about the...
You're absolutely right. Actually, according to OBS, we've been on for a little more than an hour, 30 minutes. So
yeah,
I thought that didn't make sense.
For those of you who are listening for the first time, normally our shows are 3 hours long. There are special guests and dancing bears.
Nice.
Dancing bears being banned.
Oh, the dancing bears are just Final Fantasy VI events only.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But
Sorry.
I thought you were refuting the point that I was making that the time that events are taking are now longer, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, the events still take 10 days. It's just that I believe for the last few weeks, they've been throwing so much stuff at us that we've been maybe a little...
Think they've been giving us a break?
Yeah, I think we're in between two rushes or something.
I see. Well, we'll just have to see what happens with future events. And, future...
So I guess that's going to be a wrap for us. This was episode number 20, recorded on Wednesday, July 13. My name is Pierre. I can be reached on the Twitters at FFRK Central or on the Slack FFRK Chats channel, which you can join easily at ffrkcentral.com/FFRK Chat. My co-hosts tonight, as usual, are Ben and Mark. You can reach Ben at
eTank80 on Twitter, and you can also find me occasionally in the Slack chat. Some days more than others, but I'm there.
And there's also Mark that can be reached out at
Rev Mark Myers on Twitter, at RevHP on Slack chat. You can catch me on Final Fantasy Record Keeper Basics, FFRK Basics on YouTube. And it might be slowing down with that. I didn't do one last week. I was on vacation. Going to be doing probably one here this weekend. But kind of running out of basic things to talk about. So I'm going to have to be thinking about what to do from there. Final Fantasy Record Keeper Intermediate. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
So make sure you reach out to Mark if there's things you believe he hasn't covered yet.
Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, if you like our show, if you enjoy what we're doing, and if you have some times on your end, we always appreciate when you can take some time to rate us a little 5-star on iTunes. As I said, it's always appreciated. We try and be available. If you have questions, suggestions, roundtable discussions, please email them to us at ffrkcentral@gmail.com. I forward every single piece of email or Reddit comment or anything I get to Mark and Ben, so everything you send gets read by all of us. This will be our show. Again, everything, the intro team and everything we talk about Word of Mention will be in the show notes, so hope you enjoy this, and we'll see you next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch or on the next podcast episode. So thank you very much. Have a great day.